What's up, everybody? Michael Silva here to do some technical analysis on the S&P 500. We're going to look at the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, and then the 30-minute time frame, mapping out supports, resistance, following up on yesterday's video, and just to get a good sense as to where the market might be heading next week. Let's get into it. All right, we are here looking at the weekly time frame. The price is clearly above this purple trend line that was dating back here. So we had a strong close above the trend line, and what we were talking about was these kind of interesting two candles right here. If we said that if we had to get a close above this, we'd probably test the market high. The weekly close was above it. We cleared this gap right over here. So the market looks like it wants to press higher into this level of 3,400, which is the all-time market high. It'll be interesting to see if we get a break above that. A break above that, that next stop would be, I would just say the next psychological level would be 3,500, just because it's a nice round number. So we go 34, 35, then 36 from that point. Wouldn't be shocking to see some type of pullback here in the near future if this doesn't hold, but this is overall a pretty strong breakout. So we'll see what happens here on Monday. Overall, bulls camp down here, that green rectangle, 3,200 still provides some strong level of support. And then as far as the major resistance goes, the major resistance is 3,400, another psychological level, which is also the market high. Let's go into the daily time frame. All right, so we are looking at the daily time frame. So we've had 3 solid days closing above this overall trend line. I'm going to keep it up just in case if we see some type of pullback, we might see a pullback to that level there. Overall, like I mentioned on the weekly time frame, 3,200 would offer up a good area to buy in on a pullback if the price gets back down there. But this is still remains to be a buy the dip, sell the rip type of market. 50-period moving average continues to slope up, and that's going to offer support too. The higher the price action goes, the higher the 50-period moving average goes as well. And it does look like in the next day or so of trading, it will be reaching that 3,200 level, which would offer even more support on a pullback to that level. Not exactly the type of market you're going to be wanting to short at this particular point in time, just because of all the bullish things that are going on. As far as bearish things go on this chart, there's only a couple of things that stand out to me. So we got some pretty significant resistance into the market high, and this pattern could be potentially a double top pattern where I just don't see a big crash coming from that point, especially on just this nice solid move up. And clearly the market has just been buying the dips, boom, 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 and so forth. So maybe it gets rejected and pulls back to 3,200, maybe 3,000. That would be probably an amazing floor and opportunity to buy the dip. But I just don't see that really taking place. It can definitely, but my personal opinion as far as what's been taking place, I don't just see just a big shot down to 3,000 in a few days or a week. The next bearish thing that I do see is right from here to here. I pointed this out before. So you have a low high here and a higher high here, and then you have the MACD down here, a high here, and then you have a lower high here. So you have a negative divergence in the MACD. But overall, the MACD does look like it's trying to trend upwards. So it's something to keep an eye on and note, just in case if we do start seeing some sort of a pullback or reversal in the stock market. Once resistance is broken, it then becomes support. And currently the price action is above this previous resistant level right here, this trend line. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it come up to the market top, maybe get rejected back into the trend line, which is also the entrance into the bears camp, and then potentially work itself higher to that 3,500 level. If we do see a pullback to 3,200, I'll probably be buying that specific dip for an intraday trade or maybe potentially a multi-day hold, but we got to wait to see if that actually even happens. 3,200 does offer up quite a bit of support, especially with these moving averages moving into it. Let's go ahead and hop to the 30-minute time frame, map out some supports and resistance, and follow up on what we talked about yesterday. All right, so we are here on the 30-minute time frame, this blue vertical line going down the screen. That is where the day started. So every candle from there on after was 30 minutes of data. The red and green lines on the screen, those are the support and resistance levels that we mapped out yesterday. And clearly, as you can see, we had a little bit of a gap down this morning and a move lower, but ultimately the price headed higher right after around 33.36. and it ran into the resistance and couldn't quite break through that 33.50 level that we mapped out. And we had some downwards movement and then back up to try to test it again, but then got rejected all the way down to the bear's entrance camp, that level of support, 33.30. So it really just acted perfectly within our support and resistance levels that we mapped out yesterday. The last hour and a half of trading, we saw a nice big run up back up to that level of resistance at 33.50. It did close above 33.50, but now if we're splitting hairs, which we have to do every once in a while, like we say before, we like to round the numbers to make it easy to remember. But as you can see, really, if we were to bring it up to these other wicks right here, these two right here, and then this one right over here, the real resistance is at 33.51, maybe 33.52, and the price did not close above that. So what we're going to do is we're still going to call this an area of resistance as far as right now. So as far as heading into Monday, we're going to keep these same levels of resistance. This one dates back all the way to February. That's why we pointed this one out. We have this as an area of resistance because the price couldn't quite close above these previous wicks. Then we have the entrance into the bear's camp, and that is just clearly acting as a level of support here and then act as resistance prior. And then we have this more major term that we might see a pullback to, and that was kind of the entrance right here to the window, the gap that jumped up. So we're just going to kind of keep that there. You might be able to remove that from the screen and then say, hey, no, I'm just going to watch the purple trend line. That's also applicable, but we'll just keep it there for now. And that's at 33.17. Other than that, good week of trading. Not much took place today. I will be back on Monday for another S&P 500 technical analysis video. And if you watch me on Saturdays, that's when I launch the weekly scan. I will see you then.